It's kind of a taboo.
Because it never goes anywhere, really.
Yeah.
Hi. Hello.
Hello, Remy. Zainab, how are you? Zainab, you can unmute
Hi.
your.
Yes, I'll be on in just a second. How are you?
I'm good, Zainab. How are you?
Awesome. I'm great.
All right.
Glad you're here.
Wonderful. Everything is good. Yes.
Awesome.
I'm going to begin in a second. I'll wait for them to give me the okay.
Um,
Hello, Martha. I don't see Mohammed yet. Martha in Lisbon. Oh, Angela. Okay. There's Angela with her. Angela, can you hear me? I think.
Yes. Hi, Sifu.
Hi, how are you? Your friend from Frankfurt is here too.
Oh, great.
Hey, Angela.
Hey, Damir.
How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Good, good.
Everything good, Angela? How was your
Yes, sir.
How was your lesson?
It was good. I didn't learn anything, but teaching is learning twice, right? So I pretty much just help Guru Bruce teach the other students.
Okay.
He's Inosanto lineage as well, so.
Nice, nice.
But coming here from LA has been a tough transition for me. I think I told you it's just been hard finding the same caliber of training.
Yeah.
In Atlanta. But at least I found him, and then he was talking about linking me up with Burton Richardson. I'm sure you know him.
Yeah, great,
Yeah.
great. Yeah.
So I'm hoping to do that because the classes that Guru Bruce teaches are fundamentals still. So I inquired to find a more advanced class, but he said, if you come in and help me teach and help the other students get kind of up to,
right.
Then I can help you get to where you want to get or whatever, and I'll link you up with the people that you need to be linked up with. So
Okay. No, stay positive.
Yeah. I'm doing, that's what I'm doing.
Good. Hossam, are you there? Let's see. Maybe.
Sorry. I don't think Kazam is at his desk right now.
I think he fell asleep. Well, okay. I think, well,
No.
I think I will begin. And others will join us. So welcome, everybody.
Okay.
I'm glad you could join me on today's topic of discussion, which is how has COVID-19 affected your life? So I want to keep this as a kind of open forum. I'm not going to put you into groups or anything like that, and have more of an open discussion. What we'll do, I'll just introduce myself, and then Just one by one, we'll go around, and if you can just introduce yourself, tell us what city and country you're from, and just you know, in a snapshot, what you do, and whether you're a computer tech, you're an actor, or a stuntman, or whatever it is you do in life. And then I'm going to give a brief overview of kind of where we're at throughout this year, and then have an open discussion, and of course answer any questions you might have from this point. So I know we have quite a number of people, and we're from all over the planet, so that's a good thing. It gives us a different perspective from other parts of the world. So welcome everybody. My name's Vincent Lyn, and basically in a past life, as I was just telling Ali, I was very fortunate and certainly humbled to be a part of what is considered the golden age of Hong Kong cinema. And I spent 10 years in Hong Kong, working on co-starring in over 25 films, action films, working and co-starring alongside Jackie Chan and Donnie Yen and a lot of very famous Asian action stars. So I was very fortunate to be a part of that period. Also, I'm a Grammy artist and Carnegie Hall alumni. So I've spent my whole life in the field of music and composition. So, and I still do that today. In fact, I was supposed to give a concert at Carnegie Hall last month, but of course, like all concerts this year and everything regards entertainment has been closed or put on hiatus for the moment. So hopefully that will return next year. But presently, the past, oh my goodness, since post 9/11 happened in New York and DC, I started a security company in New York City, which I still have. But my main focus in the past 6 years, I started a nonprofit foundation called We Can Save Children, and basically protects the rights of children, whether they're trafficked or whether they're bought and sold into child slavery, child soldiers, child refugees. And the work started in East and West Africa, but I've spent the last 3 years a lot of time in the Middle East, in Palestine, in Lebanon. Last year I was fortunate to be Syria. Also, I've spent time in Iraq as well. So that is my passion and the work that I spend doing now. The last few years, I've also taken on some more responsibilities, like I need anymore, as a Middle East correspondent with the Wall Street News, and an international correspondent with the United Nations, and a number of other publications. So that's basically what I do in a nutshell. So, and I'll take a breath. So let's go around. Mahmoud, why don't you start, and just where you're from and what you do, sir? Can't hear you. Hassan, did you hear me? Did you turn your microphone on?
So now do you hear me? Hello,
Yeah,
everyone.
yeah.
Bother me, I didn't hear the questions. What are you asking?
No. We're going just to introduce yourself to everybody.
Okay. Hello, everyone. I'm Hussam Junaidi, Vice President of Business Area for GCI Tartus 2020, and the local president elected for 2021 GCI Tartus chapter. I will be today with you as a technical guy, if we can say, for this webinar, and I will also be a part of this conversation. Welcome, everyone, and I'm glad to be here with you.
Thank you. Ali. Ali, you're next. Introduce yourself, sir. I think everyone can unmic so that we can hear you. Ali, can you hear me? Well, we'll go.
You can unmute him if you want by pressing on his name in the participants
Oh,
section.
I see. Oh, boy.
So you can unmute him and he will be notified by that.
Yeah, ask to unmute. There you go. Ali. Ali, can you hear me? Well,
Maybe he lost the connection.
maybe he lost the connection. Well, Angela, why don't you introduce yourself?
Okay, I could do that. Hi, everybody. My name is Angela. I'm originally from Washington, D.C. I am a martial artist. And right now I'm a professional stunt woman. And you're a tough act to follow, Sifu.
You're not following. There's not an act to follow. You're just trying to get an idea of what everyone does in a 10 seconds or less. No big deal. Don't sweat it.
Yeah, that's me in a nutshell.
That's a good nutshell.
Yeah, that's me in a nutshell. That's it. So it's lovely to meet you all.
Yes. Sabina, introduce yourself, please.
Afternoon and good evening, everyone. Hello, my name is Sabina Mansour. I'm a medical doctor. I live right now in Damascus, Syria.
Start video. بدك تشغل فيديو.
Sorry, someone is talking. Muhammad, maybe?
Yeah, continue. Sorry.
Yeah, no worries. I'm interested in medical research. I've graduated last year, about 1 year ago. I haven't started my residency yet, but I'm up to. And I'm a co-founder of an initiative that aims at raising awareness about bullying and hate speech and the importance of mental health. And I have about 4 years of experience right now working with national and international NGOs on various topics. And I'm glad to be joining you today.
Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. Remy, introduce yourself, please. Remy? Well, I'm going to go to the next person then. Zainab, introduce yourself, please.
Hello, my name is Zainab. I live in the US, New York, and I'm an occupational therapist by profession. I'm currently helping people. So I do home care right now, helping children with disabilities just gain independence in whatever it is they have to do, be it their role as a student or as a sibling, and just being more functional. And I also have like an interest in international and anything international. I did a service trip back a year ago about. I went to Spain and went to Morocco also to do voluntary work to help children with disabilities. And yeah, and I'm excited to be participating in the conversation today, and I'm excited to see what everybody else has to say about the topic.
Thank you, Zainab. In Frankfurt, DC, introduce yourself, please.
Hello, everyone. My name is Demir. I'm 34 years old. I'm an actor and a stuntman. And I grew up in Bosnia, but I moved to Germany when I was 3 years old. And I've studied acting in LA. I've lived there for a while. And now, thanks to COVID, I am back in Frankfurt, Germany. So
Great. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Martha.
my name is Martha, and I'm 19 years old, and I'm currently studying at a university, and I'm doing design course.
Where is that?
In Lisbon.
Okay, sorry. Just checking, you know where you live. Okay.
As you didn't know that.
Mary Sad. Good afternoon. I say good evening.
Hello. Good afternoon.
Okay.
It's still midday here.
Ah.
Well, hello. I'm Mary Saad from Syria, but living in Canada. I moved to Canada a month ago to Montreal. Yes, but I'm a pharmacist, and I used to work in Syria as a medical representative in the pharmaceutical field. And then since I moved to Canada now, I have a long journey to the equivalency and to work as a pharmacist here, and excited to discover the world and to discover Canada. But thanks to COVID-19, it's not the best time to discover any country. So we'll see. Hopefully next year will be better than this year. Voluntary work is one of my favorite things in my life.
Great.
Thank you
so much. Mohammed, introduce yourself, please, sir.
My name is Mohammed Khair Al-Khusi. I'm a tour guide in Syria since 1998. I was a tour leader for English company called Imaginative Traveler. This is the first experience for me to be online, to be honest with you, frankly speaking. I'm very happy to join you, and I'm ready to help with any subject you are asking for.
Okay, sorry, it won't be about tour guides. Mohammed and I, we know each other. He's like my tour guide aficionado. Linda, is Linda there?
Yes, hello everyone. I'm Linda. I'm a civil engineer, but I'm working as a community center coordinator for Syrian Society for Social Development. Our center is founded by UNHCR.
And where are you located? Linda, whereabouts are you located? Okay, might be. Well, I will go on. Elkin, how are you, sir?
Hi, I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. Good morning, good afternoon for everybody. I'm originally from Colombia. I live here in the US for the last 4 years in Miami. So I studied system engineering. Right now I'm working as a sales engineer for a security camera company. Great. So we do security camera solutions for people who install them. So that's what I'm doing right now, and well, enjoying it. A lot of challenges with this COVID-19, but that forced me to have other solutions and other way to do stuff. So it's always good to change.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. Yara? Hello, Yara. Can you unmute your microphone? Trouble there.
Hi guys.
Okay. No, let's see. Yara, can you hear us? Having trouble there. Let's see who else. Ahmed Al-Khatib, can you hear us?
Yes, good evening, everyone. How are you? This is Engineer Ahmad Al-Khatib. I am Syrian, but currently I am a resident in Kuwait. I'm working as project supervisor. I was NGO volunteer for 2 years and 5 months, but now I'm working as project supervisor.
Hello, everyone.
Who's speaking, please? Is that? Thank you, Ahmed. Yara, are you there?
Do you hear me now?
Yes, thank you. Yes, please go ahead. Go ahead, Yara.
Hello.
Yes, we hear you. Well, technical difficulties from around the world. Let us try. Rimi, can you hear me?
Hello. There's two Rainy here.
Oh, no, there's one.
There's Rimi and Rainy. I am Rainy.
Okay, Rainy and Rimi. Okay, sorry. Well,
yeah.
How about that? Okay.
Which one?
The other one.
Which one? Okay.
Well, okay. R-I-M-I-E. How about that? I'll spell it out. You can introduce yourself, please.
Hi, everyone. My name is Yara Sheikh. I'm 24 years old. I'm graduated computer system.
This is what happens when you're in Syria and you're only using 4G. Yeah. I'll try someone else here. Zara Babil. Are you there?
Hello.
Hello. If you could introduce yourself, please.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
My name is Zahra Babili. I'm from Syria in Damascus. I'm just a 10th grade student in school for outstanding student. I'm just trying to find a place in this world, and I'm interested in all the international events. And this is, in fact, the first meeting I've ever attended. I'm so excited.
Thank you, Zara, for coming on board. Linda, are you there? Linda? Earth to Linda, are you there? Nope. What about the Razo?
I hear you.
Okay.
Everybody.
Hello. If you could introduce yourself, Razo.
I'm Syrian and I'm a biomedical engineer. What else? Can you ask me?
Okay. Thank you, Razo. Jung, please introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm Yung and I'm from Vietnam. It's very late right now, but yeah, this topic has been excites me, so I would like to stay up late with this. See how it goes.
You from the north or the south? From Ho Chi Minh City or Hanoi?
The south, actually.
Okay.
You've been there?
Many times.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. I have some very, very good friends in Hanoi, actually. Let's see, who else? Haneen Saleh. Can you introduce yourself, please? Anine?
Hello,
Hello?
I am Maram, not Hanin.
Yes, could you just tell us where you're from and what you do? Okay, trouble here. I'll try somebody else. Maram.
Can I introduce myself?
Yes, please, please do. Sorry. Yes, go ahead.
I'm from Syria, Tartus, and for individual area in JCI Tartus, and I'm assistant manager for a medical company. I graduated from hospital management. I would like to say that I'm so happy to meet you all, Vincent Lyn, for being with us today.
You're welcome.
Today, I would like to thank you for your time and your effort.
Thank you. Thank you for being here with us. And I think, Maram, can you introduce yourself, please?
My internet connection is too much bad.
I understand the connection in Syria is not that great. So, but we're all patient, so no worries. Take your time.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Thank you so much.
When you're ready. Okay, she's cut out. Did I get everybody? Anybody who I didn't? Osama, please introduce yourself. Hello, Osama.
Yeah, sorry. Hello, everyone. How are you doing?
Good.
My name is Usama Al-Katib. I'm from Damascus, Syria. Can you hear me?
I can.
Maybe the internet connection is very poor.
I know, I understand that. What do you do in Damascus? Okay. Did I forget anyone? Remy, did you introduce yourself?
Not yet. Hi,
Please reintroduce yourself, Remy.
I'm Remy Abdulaziz from Tartus City, Syria. I have a degree in business administration and I'm a team leader in a maritime company.
Good. Any more?
That's it.
Sarah.
I didn't introduce myself.
Well, that's what I'm trying to. If I missed anything, okay, who did I miss? Who just spoke? Yara? Or,
No, it's Rainy.
sorry, go on. Somebody can kick me.
Unfortunately, I am Rainy as Do Rainy, so you can't.
Go ahead, finish up.
It's okay. I'm Rainy Haddad from Syria, Tartus. I'm CEO in a medical equipment company. I actually, Zainab remind me when I was 12, I was volunteered to be assistant for children with special needs. So hats up, or I don't know what's that's called, chapeau bas. So that's it. Thank you for your time, and I'm so excited for this session.
Okay, I think we have one more. Sarah? Sarah.
Yes, hello.
Yes, please introduce yourself.
Hello. Hello, I'm Sarah from Tartus, Syria. I'm 15, a 10th grader. I've probably met some people last week. You're welcome, everyone from all over the world, and that's it.
Thank you. And I think that's it. Did I miss?
Nope, not yet.
Nope, sorry. Go ahead, whoever you are. Ali, go on.
Yeah, thank you. I got disconnected last time, so apologies for that. Good evening, everyone. Allow me to welcome you all to this session. My name is Ali. I'm the Secretary General of JCI Tartus for 2020. I work in the humanitarian field for about 5 years now. I'm continuing to do so in the Red Crescent movement. Thank you, Mr. Lyn, for your time. Thank you for your cooperation. Thank you for being with us today. I would like to welcome everyone again and wish for you all a very fruitful and nice session.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Anybody else that I missed? Anybody else who did not introduce themselves? Please speak up now or forever hold your peace. I think Norman. Are you there, Norman? Norman? One second. Okay, Norman. I'll give you 1 second. Let's see. Norman, your 1 second is up.
Yeah, hi.
Go ahead.
Yeah, hi.
Yes, go ahead. Introduce yourself, please.
Yeah, sorry I'm late. Hi, I'm Nermeen. I'm an English teacher. You know, I like to speak English with other people and learning about their cultures.
Where are you from?
I'm from Damascus.
Okay. Wow. I think the entire country of Syria is on this conference call today. I think.
Yeah.
Thank you, Nermeen, for joining us. I think that is everyone. I hope. I think the only person we missed is Yara, and that there was some connection problem. Okay, but I'm going to begin, and I again thank you for everyone for joining us today. I just will start with kind of a brief overview of where we're at this year. I have a lot of personal family in the medical field, not only frontline nurses, but also my aunt is a doctor in Fort Lauderdale, in Florida. My niece is actually the top internist in Hong Kong at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital. So way back at the end of December, my niece, Ida, I spoke to her, and of course, we saw what was happening in northern China in the city of Wuhan. And Wuhan, as we know, has 11 million people. And they were reporting, obviously, that this virus has started spreading. So, and this was way back, I spoke to Ida way back at the end of December last year. China closed, of course, the city down immediately. But it also spread out to the province of Hubei, which surrounds Wuhan, which is a population of 60 million. And once it spread into that province, China also shut and locked that province down as well. But the problem was during the Chinese New Year, which starts on January the 15th, everybody wanted to get out. So more than 5 million people traveled outside before they locked the province down. And with those 5 million people traveling all over China, of course, then it spread throughout China. And then, of course, China, because it has the capability, they basically locked down everything and shut down domestic air travel inside China and everything, the rails, the buses, and locked the whole country down of 1.4 billion people. My niece, when I spoke to her at the end of January, of course, China weren't being very transparent about the news, being honest with the rest of the world about how bad things were. And though we saw a lot of kind of horrific video coming out of China, they weren't being transparent about just the number of deaths and the number of cases. And my niece told me that even by January, the end of January, at least 100,000 had died in China. Of course, that's still, even today, that number has never been reported. But she spoke to many of her colleagues who are doctors, of course, in China, and they were telling her of basically the horror stories that was coming out of China at that point. My son, who's a graphic designer, lives in Hong Kong and works there. And the countries bordering China, like Hong Kong, Vietnam, and countries very close, Singapore, Taiwan, they were extremely proactive from the very beginning because being close to China. So they locked their borders down too. And this is why today, their cases and certainly deaths have been very, very low. Yes, they had some waves, but they've been able to keep their cases and deaths to a very, very small amount. Whereas other countries such as in Europe, all over Europe, and certainly North America and South America have been basically hit very, very, very hard. So yeah, I have been following this basically very, very closely because of having family in China, family in Hong Kong, and of course my son is in Hong Kong. So I've been following this very closely from the very, very beginning since this started. And here we are, a year now. And we've learned a lot about the efficacy of this virus. And it surely has taken a toll on many of us and many countries, many economies around the world. One thing that is important to note that I have friends all over the world, and of course I speak with as many people as I can, especially regarding my foundation, because the children that I help and aid are obviously in very, very, mostly third world countries, poor infrastructure, poor health infrastructure. So if their lives were already bad because of COVID, their lives have been, it's kind of bad times 100. So, you know, it's kind of many of especially the situation in Africa, their lives, it's like a lockdown within another national lockdown. So here we are. Personally, for me, how has it affected my personal life? Well, I travel a lot. I spend at least 6 months outside of the United States. So I was supposed to be traveling back in April, and I was supposed to be actually in a different country from April until the end of the year. I was supposed to be in Italy in April, Portugal in May. I was actually planning to come to Syria in June, as Mohammed knows. So all these things, of course, were canceled. I was supposed to actually do a very big concert at Carnegie Hall this past October. And like all concerts and everything in the entertainment industry, we have some people in film here, actors and stunt people, of course. They know how bad that kind of, I guess, the industry has been affected. So, of course, my concert was canceled way back in March. So once I knew that things were going to get bad throughout this year. I have been living in New York City for 17 years. And though a few years ago I thought, it's time for me to leave, I kind of waited. But once this COVID hit New York City and New York City became the new epicenter, I felt it was time to get out. So I left my place and went to be with my father down in outside of Fort Lauderdale in Hollywood, Florida, and spent 3 months down there, spending quality time with taking care of my father. I came up to New York to kind of assess the situation in New York City, and it was because by this time there was a lot of riots and looting going on, and everywhere in New York City was boarded up. Basically nothing was happening. So I decided to finally, after 17 years, move out of New York City, which I did in August. So I'm actually right now in the state of Maryland, which is on the Eastern Shore. It's about an hour and a half from Washington, D.C., or 3 hours drive from New York City. So I'm between here and Florida, kind of been going back and forth. So in terms of my work and travel, yes, it's affected me greatly. But fortunately, I have not been affected economically like so many have because of other work that I do, and I'm able to work kind of from home on the go. So I have been trying to help the children and so forth in the countries that at least I can get aid and money to via MoneyGram or Western Union. Of course, some countries like Syria, it's impossible because of the sanctions and so forth. But there have been countries I have been able to help families in Gaza, in Palestine, and families in Uganda and so forth. So and in Lebanon as well. So so that's basically what's happening in my kind of world for the moment. So that's it in a nutshell. So for anybody who'd like to, I mean, I could kind of pick and choose, but let me, I'll kind of pick and choose here. And anybody who really wants to talk, just you kind of, like we're in school, raise your hand, and how it's affected your life. Sabina, why don't you start? You're in the medical field. How has, I know Syria has been affected a little, certainly not as much as so many other countries, which is a good thing, but you've been affected after an ongoing 10 years of war. The last thing you need in Syria is COVID-19. So as someone who's a doctor, how have things affected your life?
Well, it affected my life greatly. I graduated last December. So after graduation, you have like a very hard exam. You have to study for several months. So I studied for about 3 months for this exam. You have to review everything you've learned in medicine in one exam. So it's very hard. It's called the national exams in order to be certified as a doctor. So I was really in a quarantine even before Corona and the COVID pandemic happened. So I was really focusing on my study and graduating. So after I graduated my medical school, I was having a lot of goals and aspirations and a lot of plans. I wanted to do a lot of things. And actually, my plans for the future is to continue my study abroad. That's why I haven't started my residency yet.
Mhm.
So it was a very crazy year for me and a very rich one. I've been blessed to have a lot of leading roles in many places, and a lot of these places I was able to continue and pursue my work through online work, which was very great because I haven't stopped working for 1 day at this year, which was very nice. And then I started working in the medical field for about 7 months. um, I was in the front line facing a lot of patients and working with a lot of doctors. This period was really frustrating and stressful for me. I wasn't afraid of getting COVID or anything. I was afraid for my family. I have a dad who have a hypertension issue, and my mother also have some medical issues. So I live in a different city than my family. My family lives in a different city. So due to my work, and I was in the front line facing a lot of probability and danger to be exposed to COVID. This really affected my life because I wasn't able to see my family in a lot of the times. And my sister and her kids live in the same city as I do. I couldn't, a lot of the times I miss them, and I really, really want to see them. And I just think I don't want to see them and maybe expose them to any illness or COVID or so. So, and being alone in this situation in a city all by yourself, you have to have a lot of responsibility in a very tough time in a war-torn country with a lot of troubles, and also a global pandemic was very challenging for your mental health, especially with a lot of work stress I was facing because when I was doing my online job during the pandemic, we have to switch from on the ground activities to online in order to cope with the pandemic. So, in order for our work to not stop, that's why I was very in a lot of stress. But it was very challenging. I think the most challenging part was the fear on your beloved ones and missing them. And also, this is on the personal level for me as a Sabina. And on the personal level also, I had planned for me to travel in like 1 year or so, 1 year and a half after my graduation. Now, because of the COVID and a lot of embassies shut down, and a lot of the travel was banned. So my my plan will be postponed for now, and I think I might have to have 1 more year. So this is really annoying at some point, but on the other hand, I'm not really annoyed because I this time allowed me to work on a lot of other projects.
Mhm.
So I'm feeling like I'm growing as a person, and I'm really thankful for the experience. And this is on the personal level, but on the general level, I'm interested, as I stated in the beginning, in medical research. So I try to during the pandemic. One of the things I did, I worked on a medical research, and medical research topic was about is quarantine an adequate way to deal with a global pandemic in a three world country, or in a world affected by war like Syria. So it was very interesting because the amount of participants in this study was about 1,600 participants,
Mhm.
and most of them weren't really affected of COVID, weren't really stressed out because of the fear of getting infected or anything. Most of the people here in Syria were concerned of the economic status of the country, which was very, very affected in a bad way because of the pandemic. And a lot of people lost their jobs. A lot of people weren't able to put food on the table. So you can hear that a lot in the society in Syria. I prefer to go outside and risk getting COVID than to let my family starve or whatsoever, because of the the hard situation due to the long war here in Syria. So this was very interesting for me.
Thank you so much, Sabina. Let's go to America here, Washington, D.C. Angela, how has it affected your life?
Well, actually, right now I'm in Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay.
But right before COVID kind of hit, I was working down here on a project, and I left to go up to DC, which is about 10 hours driving, because my father was not doing well in the nursing home. And I got up there and something told me to just pack a bunch of stuff. And thank God I did, because I ended up staying in DC for about 5 months, which was quite a trying time for me, just because, you know, I'm having to pay rent in Atlanta and in Los Angeles at that time. And I was staying in DC with my mom and stepfather, but I stayed up there just to make sure that my mom was good. So similar to what she just explained, I wasn't so much concerned about myself as I was my mom. And luckily, because of my past and some jobs I've had, I was able to have a gym where I could go and train and do my martial arts and lift and remain sane for the most part. But I was out of work, you know, completely. The entertainment industry just shut down. And in the past, for the first time in the past 3 years, I really missed working for the government because I missed the paycheck I would have still had, and the medical insurance I would have still had. But yeah, it's actually, it hit me the hardest monetarily, just because I no longer have income. Granted, being a stunt woman, I always say we're professionally unemployed, so it's always looking for work, no matter what. But now there's literally no work to find. So eventually I got on unemployment, which was actually pretty decent in the beginning, and then that stopped in July. In which case I went back to LA, because you know, if I can't work, which is the only reason I moved to Atlanta, then I might as well be happy not working instead of miserable. So I went back to Los Angeles, where I'm happy and the weather's nice. And then it shut down for the second time in Los Angeles. So I was kind of back to square one. And then I finally kind of moved for good back to Atlanta in August. And at least here, you know, some places are open where I can train, but it really, for me, it was the not being able to be as physical as I need to be in order to not kind of fall into that slippery slope of depression and without income, and then wondering, you know, when I'll have work, if I'll ever have work, if it's going to go back to normal, whatever that is in subjective manner. But I've also taken the time to work on a lot of my martial arts, slowing things down, doing some introspection, doing some shadow work, which I have a lot to work on. But I took it as it was a gift for me, at least, to be able to spend that time with my mom, even though, you know, she was bored, so we kind of got on each other's nerves. But you know, it's often, you know, you're rushing and running, and I'm always, you know, I'm literally from coast to coast working, and so it was nice to kind of have a forced break where I could kind of reset, work on my fitness, work on my lifting, work on my diet, my martial arts fundamentals, and being with my mom. So yeah, it's been a blessing and a curse.
Yeah, I think.
And that's.
I think.
Go ahead.
there, and I've people have asked me, you know, how I felt this year, and you just said it. I think this is an ongoing situation. It's far from over, and even talk of vaccines, but this is still far away. Even though in some countries, yes, they've started giving it out already, but you know, I think everybody except maybe people who are in the medical field will get it first, but for us, we will be definitely the last. And you know, we might still be waiting by next summer, but this certainly has been a time, I believe, and hopefully many of us have used the time for introspection, to really figure out what our lives mean and where we want to go. So I hope everyone has used that time. Let's go to Germany, Frankfurt. DC, please tell us your story.
Yes. Well, actually, when the pandemic started, I was in LA, and as Angela said, everything shut down when it came to the entertainment industry. No auditions, no jobs, no nothing. The only thing that helped me, you know, keep my head above water was I was, you know, delivering food with Uber. That was actually pretty good because nobody was allowed to go into restaurants or anything. So everybody kept ordering food. And I came back home to Frankfurt, Germany, October 4th. And 3 weeks after I came back, Germany prepared for a second lockdown because the numbers have been going high. And the lockdown was supposed to be until November 20th, and the numbers still haven't changed. So they've extended it till December 20th. And then they said, well, everybody, they made weird laws saying 2 people from 2 households, no more. And then you have to pay a fine. You have to wear masks outside from 8 in the morning till 10 p.m. if you're in the city. And things became really very difficult even before the lockdown when people wanted to go and grab a drink or go and grab some food. Whenever you sit in a restaurant, you have to fill out like a piece of paper, your address, your phone number, in case somebody on that evening gets COVID, they will track who was at the restaurant, and then they try to figure out who gave you COVID. It's completely weird. But right now I see jobs here in Germany in the entertainment industry are still hard, but I still see that people are still trying to make the best out of it. There are some auditions, people are still shooting, smaller set, not that many people, but you have to do the test. And, but also even in a restaurant, I mean, as Angela said, as entertainers, you're professionally unemployed. I was also working at a restaurant, which I thought whenever I come back home to Germany, I can start working in the restaurant again, but they shut down completely. Also, prior, 2 of my previous workers had COVID, so they had to go into quarantine. Things are actually getting worse and worse because when it started, everybody was like, it's bad that it's a pandemic, but it's kind of nice. I get my paycheck and I can stay at home. But after 2 months, 3 months, you know, you see your walls every day and you're just like starting to go insane. One of my friends actually texted me a couple of days ago. He's like, I just want to go back home to work. And people are actually demonstrating on the street because with all those lockdowns, people are no longer allowed to somewhat live their life. And, you know, so there've been a lot of gatherings, like every 2-3 weeks, people are gathering on the street and protesting. And so things have been actually not that good. And they said throughout Christmas, we will do a little break, you know, and then people kept complaining. So if it's a pandemic, why are we easing up the laws throughout Christmas? It's not like COVID is celebrating Christmas too, so it's not going to affect everybody. So, and then they've extended the quarantine until mids of January. But as you said, we're far from it being over. So I don't know how it's going to turn out, but it's not looking good. But a lot of Germans are very, very unhappy about how the politics are handling. And I know we're not talking about politics. I'm just saying they're very unhappy on how things are being handled right now.
Yeah, we know from the cause and effect of COVID, the mental health situation, of course, is very dire. I know in Japan, suicide rate in Japan, they now have more deaths from suicide this year than COVID. So yeah, the mental effect of suicide is extremely high. It's not being talked about, unfortunately, and it needs to be addressed. Let's jump to New York City. Zainab, could you join us and let us know what's happened in your life this year?
Yes, hello everyone. Okay, so it's affected my life directly because I actually had my mother was sick just as this was happening. She had gotten sick. She went to the hospital, and we were trying to figure out what was going on, and we couldn't figure it out. And then like a week and a half prior to like everything being locked down and shut down, and like law started coming in saying like we need to practice social distancing, and all government buildings were shut down. We had found out that she had an underlying condition that compromised her immune system. After that, we found out that and just to kind of explain to you how bad the situation was here in New York, and how late of a response there was in terms of like things shutting down. My mom was at the hospital, and then she actually had gotten COVID from one of the doctors that were. So with her immune system compromised and her getting COVID, she had actually, passed within like.
Good evening, my sweet friends.
Of her diagnosis. So yeah, so my mother had passed away, and then it's been a struggle to kind of adjust to that because it happened like really all of a sudden. We didn't know she had that condition that she did that compromised her immune system, and then right after that, everything kind of went downhill. So yeah, it's been a great adjustment, and then finding a job after that was a little tough as well. Not that there aren't any, but I think people are being very selective about where they want, I guess, healthcare workers. Well, at least that was my experience. So it took some time for me to actually find a job because I wasn't working prior too much before. And then just like bringing telehealth more into the picture. So that was a struggle for not only like the patients or clients, but also healthcare workers as well. We had a tough time kind of adjusting to giving care through online services. So that was a bit of a struggle as well. But I think people are kind of adjusting to what the situation is, and they're going to do what they need to do in order to live their lives, because not many people have a choice, especially with children, to be out or to be out or I guess stay home. Most people are staying home, and it is causing a lot of stress in the families and at home. But yeah, that's sort of my experience so far. It's still an adjustment. It's not fun, but we are dealing with what we have to. So yeah.
Thank you, Zainab. And I know, Zainab and I, we actually were in the same class studying about Quranic sciences and Islamic law in Brooklyn. And so, yeah, my condolences again regarding your mom. I, of course, I knew this from before, but, again, my condolences to the loss of your mom. And of course, the classes that were on a regular basis every week, I mean, they were canceled how long ago? Way back in March, right?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, and they have not resumed as yet.
Yeah.
And, I mean, it's crazy. So, yeah, but thank you for that. Let's go to the Damascus. Mohammed, are you there? Mohammed?
Good
Yes, I'm
evening,
there.
my
Can you
sweet
hear
friends.
me?
I have just entered the room.
Yes.
Who's entered the room? Mohammed, can you tell us about the situation?
Yes, you can. Yeah, you can hear me?
Yeah, you got your hand in front of the camera, sir.
Mr. Vincent?
Yes. Yeah, stop moving around.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Now, I'm a guide. I have to move all the time.
Oh, no.
Okay. Frankly speaking, let me
Pardon,
tell
can
you.
I say something?
Please, I want to check that everyone hears me.
Yeah.
There is a noise.
Yeah, there's a buzzing. So if you're not speaking, can you just kind of mute your microphone until I call on you? Thank you so much, because there's a background feed in.
Hello.
Yeah. Hello? Yeah, Mohammed, go ahead.
Okay. So what's going on? You know that Syria we suffered a lot from the what we call it, the proxy war in Syria, and
I want to make sure that everyone is hearing me now.
Yes, everybody, I can hear you. Yes.
Mr. Okay, good. Now,
yes, I'm hearing you
we
well.
suffered a lot, as you know, in Syria from the this type of you know, COVID-19 started.
Signal problem.
Everyone is hearing me?
Yes. Hassan, yes. Go ahead, Mohammed.
Yes. I'm Hassan.
No, Hassan, wait a second.
Yes.
Please.
I have just entered the room, so I'm sorry for being late.
Okay, fine, not a problem. We'll get to you in a second. No problem. Mohammed, go ahead again.
Maybe the internet connection is bad.
Yeah, he froze, Sifu.
Yep.
Now everybody's muted.
Excuse me, everyone. I had to mute everyone to reduce the noise, and the echo was coming from some microphones. I didn't know where from, so I had to mute all the mics. So please, when the one who need to talk, unmute himself, and when he finish talking, please mute again, so that we don't have any echo sounds or noises or distributing sounds. So Mr. Vincent, now you are the host again, and I'm sorry for muting you. Okay, you are now mute, so please unmute your mic. Okay, thank you, everyone.
Okay.
Sorry for
no, thank you. Thank you for bringing that up, Hassan. So look, yeah, when someone is actually talking, if you could just keep your mics muted, because there's a lot of background and feed coming through. So Mohammed, try it again, please. You got to unmute, sir. No. You. Mohammed, we can't hear you. You have to.
You can unmute him. You can ask to unmute him, so he will be notified.
I have asked him. And then maybe going to throw something.
So let me state something. Unless Mohammed fixes problem with the internet, agree?
Yeah, something's wrong with his internet. Mohammed, can you hear me? Just throw your thumb up, because we cannot hear you. Okay, we're gonna. I'm gonna
You
have.
can hear me?
Yeah, try again, please. Your signal is very bad.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry. So now you can hear me, just to check. You can hear me now. Good.
Yeah. Yes.
So I was with the German TV,
Okay.
and the German TV, we were reporting in
Yes, we're hearing you.
Syria, something related to the special trip, or special people who special ladies who's doing electrician in the suburb of Homs, is working as going up to the electrician, and they fixing something for the cables, which is, it's a main job, not a female job. They decide to leave the country, those German TV, but they were very, very lucky, because the Lebanese border, it was closed, and no more crossing between Syria and Lebanon. So we hardly found the way for them to leave from Damascus airport all the way to Cairo, and they found their way to go to Germany. Definitely before then closed, before Lebanon. So no more cars, no more buses between Syria and Jordan. What I would like to mention here, that Syria, it was definitely under the sanctions, and the economy in Syria, I mean, is getting worse and worse. When we got the COVID-19, and we decide, I mean, the Syrian government decided to lock down the country, we found that a lot of people get worse than the war itself. I remember that we received many kind of rockets and mortar rockets from all over around Damascus, but the economical situation, it was okay. I can say we were surviving. But when we got the COVID-19, things definitely changed, because we had some people who's getting their income paid daily, not monthly. I mean, we had some people working in the private sector, they got paid by day, not by week or by month. So those people, if they lost their job, they are not able to continue their lives. This is number one. Number two, what I would like to mention to my colleagues here in the conference, that some of the countries like United States, like Spain, like Germany, and some European countries, they were able to pay a little amount of money for people to survive, just to find the food, for example, to support them to buy the food, and to stay at home, because they are not working. So in Syria, we don't have something like this. So we got really suffered a lot from people that didn't find jobs, or they are, they lost their jobs and they can't continue their life to work in a, and there is no income for them. So it was really, really, hard time for them to survive. Now I can say that the situation, and I'm supporting, to be honest, I'm supporting the idea, which is we should continue working even we have COVID-19, because if you are not working, you will not get money, and especially if you have a family, how you are going to feed them? There is no way to feed them. So I prefer to die without, let's say, money, instead of to be worried about my family and myself, and to get affected from the COVID-19. So I hope we will not have the situation of closing the country again, I mean lockdown again. I hope we'll have just a kind of a hope that to continue slowly without closing the shops and the market and some other kind of places. I can say the situation now, and I would like to tell you something here just before I forget this idea. Most of the people in Syria who died, they are up than 60 or 70 years old. We got some young generation died, but if we need to estimate the whole situation, we discovered that only the old generation affected from the COVID-19, plus the way of the COVID-19 in Syria is not that much strong as out of Syria, as if we need to give example to Italy or China, or let's say United States. Most of those I can say that we got the level number 4. If it's stronger, let's say number 1, number 2, number 3. In Syria, I can say it's number 4. I was affected by myself, but not that much strong. I, for example, started to not to smell well. I was a little bit lazy, but I didn't have any kind of breathing problem at all, me and my kids and my wife. My father-in-law was affected. He's a sportman, to be honest. He survived from the COVID-19. He was sick for like 10 days. But again, if it's really strong, like what we heard in Italy or in the United States or in Europe, I'm sure he will be passed away. Because it's really strong enough out of Syria. Maybe we are lucky that we got that type of level. So I discovered that the COVID-19, when it's coming to the country, it's coming by levels. It's not coming really in one standard, or let's say in one level that very strong and everybody will be suffering and everybody will die. No, that in Syria is quite different. Maybe in Lebanon is different, but I'm telling what we had actually in Syria.
Thank you, Mohammed, for that. Yes, Sabina, you want to say something?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Muhammad. Actually, I don't really agree with Mr. Muhammad on a lot of the medical part. Yeah, maybe here we don't have a really adequate statistics about the situation here in Syria with COVID, and the government wasn't very transparent about the diagnosis of many people. So a lot of people who had COVID in a mild cases like flu didn't know they had it. So we don't have an actual number of the people who got affected and who got the coronavirus, and also a lot of people died during this year, and not just the elderly who are above 60 or 70. There are a lot of people who died at their 40s and at their 50s without any really serious medical diagnosis before, or so we can't really take it for granted that in Syria here we have it in mild cases or so. I guess the reason why we see it that way, because we don't have really an actual number, and we don't really have a proper way of screening, because here the a swab for COVID is very expensive if you compare it to the Syrian pounds. So with the economic crisis here, a lot of people won't get tested unless they are traveling, or they have really difficulty breathing, or if their O2 saturation really dropped low. So in that case, they swab them for COVID. And the other cases, they deal with them as you have to self-isolate yourself at your home, don't interact with anyone else. and stay home until you are cured. And a lot of the elderly died, and a lot of people who are at their 40 and 50s died. I can't tell for sure it's of COVID, but we witnessed a lot of higher numbers of dying this year. So I guess it maybe has to do with the fact that there is a global pandemic affecting every country. So thank God that Mr. Mohammed and his family are safe right now, and I hope everyone will be safe of COVID and won't get it. But we can't say for sure and generalize the idea that COVID here in Syria is not a very important matter. It is, and it is affecting the public health here as it does in anywhere else.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, we know obviously when it began in China, and China have never been transparent about it from the very beginning. But other countries have not been transparent. Russia, of course, has not been transparent about their numbers. We know that their numbers and deaths are much higher than they're reporting. Of course, poorer countries in Africa, they don't have the infrastructure or the means to contact trace or even test the people. Mohammed brought up one interesting fact, and that, of course, I think we can all agree on, is that if you can't, if you don't have any money to feed your family, then of course, you know, nothing else really matters. So that the ability to not be able to work, all countries have to try to figure this out, because we have to work in order to eat. And in America, yes, Mohammed, they did give some money, but this is a stimulus check, but this is a long time ago. They have been back and forth in the Senate trying to talk about dealing with another one. But of course, Trump administration put the axe on that. So there has not been money given out to people in the States for many months. And I don't know when that will happen. So yeah, this is a terrible situation. And I speak with colleagues in parts of Africa, which of course they don't care about, they're not being scared by dying from COVID. They're dying from starvation because there's no money. And if they're already in a lockdown, inside another lockdown, then they can't even, for example, one of the initiatives I did in Uganda was to purchase 16 acres of agricultural land for 1,000 children, refugees, orphans, I should say. But the problem is they can't even get to the land for the food, you know, for the watermelon, for the potato, for the vegetables, because they are locked down. They're not allowed to go out of their small kind of community to get even to the food to feed themselves. So these many, I could say dozens, in fact, of children that I have aided have died this year not from COVID. Nobody I personally know in Uganda have died from COVID. They've died from other sub-Saharan tropical diseases, and many have died from famine, from starvation. So yes, if you cannot feed your family, then you are in a real, there can't be a worse situation than that, of course. Yes, Frankfurt, please.
I really don't mean to be rude or to interrupt. I just have to leave right now. I just didn't want to disconnect from everyone.
No, thank you, but no.
I thank you everyone for joining, and I'm sending out a lot of greetings from Germany, and hope I'll see you guys soon again. All right, stay safe.
Yes, you too.
Stay safe. Goodbye.
Let's go to Lisbon, Portugal, and from a university student's perspective in Europe. Martha, can you tell us how your year has been and how it's affected you and maybe your family?
Yes, sure. So when the pandemic started, I just had started my second semester of my first year in university, and then they sent us home. So the life of a student was almost like every day we were just watching our lessons through our computers, and then we had to work all day because our teachers just gave us a bunch of work to do, because they were kind of lost because they didn't know what to do, because the system they were used to evaluate us, was not good for this system that was being that from the system online we were doing. So they found out that maybe sending a lot of work, they could have some things to evaluate our work during the class. So yeah, we students I talk about this with a lot of friends on my class, and they agree with me that we spent a lot of time in our home, uh, um, attending the classes and doing work, and we were very depressing during this time because we didn't we didn't talk a lot with each other because we were all in our homes and doing a lot of work. So yeah, it was kind of depressing. um, but when we were in lockdown, Portugal's people were very respectful about the directions that our government gave us. So it's kind of I think it was worth it, the lockdown, because the numbers decreased a lot during the lockdown. So yeah, that's it, and it's being like that. And now we were doing online and presential classes. It depends on the day, but yeah, it is much better than last year. um I think it's not that bad, the system we are doing now. So yeah,
Thank you.
that's
Thank
it.
you. Yeah. Yeah, as I mentioned before, the cause and effect of the mental health crisis that is affecting everyone, even from a small amount to, of course, that it's even hospitalizing people because of the mental health aspects. Surely for many, for the elderly, for students who are stuck in home, there is no social interaction with other students. This is, of course, it's going to cause depression, and it's causing depression on a mass scale. So I appreciate that. Thank you, Martha.
Thank
Another
you.
thing Martha mentioned was that the people in the citizens of Portugal are being very respectful and listening to their government. So when the government is telling them to stay at home, wear the face mask, distance yourself, people listen. It's the same thing in Asia. This is why most of the Asian countries, many of them are living basically, there's a normalcy to their lives. Sure, they still wear the mask and they're still very careful, but their lives are going on, as before, and in many respects. Unfortunately, cultures, and I will only talk about the US because I'm presently living here, is that there's no discipline with the society. And it's a case of, if I tell you to wear a mask, well, I'm not going to wear it, because I'm told to wear it, because of the individual freedoms and rights and all this kind of silliness. Unfortunately, there's not a cohesive togetherness to figure this thing out. And the other thing, of course, when you have this insane leadership like we have in the US, there's never been an actual national plan from the very beginning of this pandemic. when we had all the time in the world to prepare way back in February, right? We saw what was happening in China. We had chance to prepare. It hit Northern Italy. We had time to prepare. It hit the UK. The US had time to prepare. And so we never did anything. And this is why we are in the predicament that we have now the world's highest record of cases every day. Yesterday, we had 228,000 cases in one day. We have now over 100,000 people in hospital. So the hospitals are maxed out. They are being pushed to the limit. And also, of course, we have the highest amount of deaths. I think it's now touched 280,000 today. And the health metrics evaluation projected that by April, our deaths will have hit 540,000. So this is just absolutely insane. But here we are. Let's go back to Syria. Mary Saad, would you bring us up to date on what's happening with you and possibly your family? Thank you.
Well, hello. Well, I will be talking about Syria. And
you're in Canada. Sorry.
Canada.
Yeah. Even bring us up to date in Canada, because Canada is doing much better than the US because they closed their border. Great. Thank you.
Good. Yeah. Since Sabina talked pretty good about the situation in Syria medically, well, as a pharmacist, as someone who worked in the medical pharmaceutical domain, it was hard because our work, it depends on visiting all the clinics. I mean, we are all the time dealing with doctors, with hospitals, with nurses, with everyone like this. And as a supervisor, it was a big responsibility to keep the work on and also to keep the team safe. So it was so hard. Out of the work, personally, well, I was waiting for my visa for my travel a year ago, and it's the last imagination. It's the last thing that I have imagined my year to be. I mean, I've planned so much how I will spend the rest of the time now with my family, what to do. We had so many plans with my friends also, but unfortunately we couldn't do anything because, you know, it wasn't that not everything was closed in Syria, but personally I was a bit cautious because it's not easy to lose the chance to travel, you know, the strict restrictions in airports and everything. So I was so cautious. So in case I got the visa, I can fly immediately. Also, what was tough a bit that my father, 3 weeks pre-traveling, he was affected. He was a positive coronavirus patient. So it was tough because, you know, before you travel, before you immigrate, to be unable to hug my father, to be unable to even be being close to him, this was a bit, this hurts so much. So it was tough because we tried to be apart. We tried to, everyone lived in solo, let's say. So it was tough. It wasn't the way I imagined to spend the time with my family. Also, as a social person, it was hard to be like, I couldn't say goodbye to many of my friends because I should have taken the responsibility because my father was positive, so I couldn't meet many of my friends like a week before traveling. It was tough. after I moved to Canada, well, for anyone who is traveling to another country, who is immigrating to another country, so I definitely had so many plans, so many things to do, so many places to visit. I started like months ago searching how to volunteer in Canada, where to go, what to visit, how to be involved in the Canadian activities and events. But unfortunately, I came to a situation that is everything is closed. Restaurants are closed, cafes, long queues everywhere, even in the clothes shops. Everything is closed. Even the Christmas season. I mean, it's not a perfect Christmas season for anyone who is. This is the first Christmas season for me in Canada, so there is no season at all. So this is not what I expected to begin my life with. But hopefully we are. I hope that next year will be better. But it's hard. Even now, I have the francisation session, the learning French session, as Quebec is the official language in Quebec is French, and even this, I should talk to a screen. I should speak to a screen. I should practice with a screen. No schools, no universities, no institutions are open. Everything is closed, so everything will be with a computer, a laptop, a screen. So this is a bit hard. No events, no activities, nothing that helps me really to be involved quickly in the Canadian society or community. So I should wait a bit because it's like a global pandemic. So we're not in this alone. But it's, yes, I can't say that this is what I expected to be as a newcomer to Canada. On the other side, this period of time or this pandemic just taught me how everyone must be just so grateful just if we have a good health, because really my experience with my father was a bit tough. Thanks God, he's very good now, but it was hard. And I just want to say that to my people, to my friends in Syria, because so many of them are still not taking this seriously. Just be cautious, be responsible, because really when I see people here, it's the responsible for every one of us. It's the responsibility of the government and also the responsibility of the individuals themselves. So I see so many peoples here and there and going out and parties. So no, just stop that, and you won't feel it until you are in the problem. So just be responsible. Hope everyone is fine, and I can't say anything more. I just want to say that thanks to coronavirus, I spent this year with my sister, with my family at home more than being out. But this is a good side. This is a positive side. But yes, but it could be better.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
Thank you, Mary, for that, and continued a good health for your father and your family. And
thank you so much.
You're welcome. Sarah raised her hand. Is she Sarah? Are you there?
Yes, here I am.
Okay, Sarah.
Well, after hearing a lot of points of views, I agree with most of them. Like that's most of what I was going to say. But from my personal point of view, last year I was a 9th grader, and it's like something very important in Syria to graduate to high school. So we were really stressed after being locked down in March. We still haven't finished our studies, our books, our curriculums. So we waited for the Ministry of Education to decide whether to cancel the exams or not, delete parts of the books or not, until they decided like really to delete them. We made the exams after all live in all classrooms in Syria with social distancing, wearing masks, hand sanitizers, all the precautions for staying safe, because every student was really worried about their families and also about themselves. We had some online classes, but then they just like removed the idea because not all people had access to that. And that's how it affected my personal life, I guess.
Yes, thank you, Sarah. Good. Narmeen raised his hand. Someone raised. Narmeen,
Yeah,
go ahead, please.
yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm gonna say everything that happened with me, starting from using the hand sanitizers and the gloves and also the mask, and I was wearing sunglasses because I was thinking I was obsessive about cleanliness. Really, I was crazy about it. So I was reading lots of things about COVID and from World, the official site. From good resources. But after all that, I got COVID-19 in September. And yeah, I suffered for 4 days from temperature. It was 39. Always, literally always. I was showering all the time, but it didn't get low. So I was trying till after the 4 days, it was better. It was like 38. Then blah 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 until I'm good. But after that, I felt like I should have the responsibility not to go out. So I stayed at home for 14 days after the symptoms, as the doctors said. And I was telling myself that I'm good, I'm not gonna die, blah blah blah. Yeah. Then I was playing some sport because I usually play sport, and after that I went back to work, and everything was all right. But this is not the end of the story. Uh, in November, I broke my leg, and then also I stayed at home until now. So I don't know what's happening with me this year.
I think everybody's asking that same question. Thank you. Let's go to Asia. Jung, you're in Vietnam. Vietnam have done very well this year with dealing with COVID. Can you tell us a little?
Okay, so yeah, so as you've heard from the news, the country's been doing very well, and yeah, so but unfortunately, right now the COVID has decided to return just at the beginning of December, and so what affects me is that because I'm a senior student, a senior year in the university, and I was supposed to graduate at the beginning of 2020, but up so far I still haven't graduated yet due to this, even though the government's been doing a great job on preventing that, but my school still somehow got delayed. Yeah, so that's just a bummer of this one.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
sure, for sure. Oh, this is the thing with this COVID. Even the countries that have done extremely well you know, there's blips. It's like a wave up and down, but it, you know, as long as the wave is kept in a small amount, then this is okay. But unfortunately, the waves that are happening in many European countries and certainly here in the States, they're not waves. It's more like a tsunami. So, but thank you, Jung, for that. Simfwe Zuma, I didn't get to talk to you. You came on a little late. Are you there?
Yes, I am. Good evening, everyone.
Where are you from, ma'am?
I am from South Africa. I'm just trying to see if I can get my camera on.
Oh, wonderful.
Greetings, everyone.
Thank you for joining us. Are you from Cape Town, Johannesburg?
I'm based in Johannesburg. Yeah, and unfortunately, I'm actually surviving COVID at the moment.
Oh my goodness. Okay. When did you got it?
On Wednesday. So I was due to travel. The type of work I do, I travel across the continent. And it would have been my first travel post, well, in the new normal, if I can call it that. And in fact, I tested negative 3 days before the travel. And then on the day of the travel, I started getting the flu symptoms and I had the test and I've unfortunately tested positive. So I'm 3 days into my quarantine. I'm actually feeling much better than I felt. I think the first 2 days were the worst in terms of chest pains and just the overall fever. But the one constant was monitoring my breathing. So fortunately that was not badly affected at all. And I think now I'm audible because the past few days, my voice was something else. My chest was just going through the most. But I can safely say I've survived. So in South Africa, we now are in our second wave. The first wave was quite well managed. I think the first 3 months, starting of March, April, and May, the trajectory of the virus increasing in the country was quite slow. We went to an immediate lockdown. Our first case was in end of February. Right. And after we had that case, 2 weeks in, there were 2 or 3 cases more. And we realized that globally, the pandemic was intensifying. So we went to immediate lockdown. The economy was closed. You were locked basically within the territory that you stay in. That helped us because of our infrastructure and healthcare facilities being limited. That period almost bought us time to prepare. So our medical facilities were prepared in order to accommodate this when the surge came. We did reach a quite an unfortunate period around June, July, which is our winter season. So I mean, I'm not sure if it's scientifically proven, the relationship between cold weather and the virus increasing, but for some reason, there seemed to have been that relationship. In our winter season, we had our highest peak in terms of number of cases as well as number of people we lost. And then around August, September, we started seeing a decline. And in late October, the economy started opening up again. So we were at a stage now where there are 5 levels of our lockdown period, with level 5 being total shutdown, and level 1 is everything functioning, but with curfews. So at midnight, clubs and so forth would close, whereas they would have been open for longer. But this week, we have 9 regions or provinces, and of the 9, this past yesterday, in fact, the president announced that one of the provinces is seeing quite a significant increase in cases again. So they've gone into level 5 lockdown. But in Johannesburg so far, which is the economic hub of the country, so far we remain on level 1. So COVID is definitely real and quite painful. And I think the biggest lesson for myself and for something that I'd share is don't let your guard down. No one is safe, be it your friends, your family, because what started happening now is we started celebrating like each other's birthdays and, you know, and almost as though life was getting back into normal. But the reality is for now, we can't really have normal as we've always known it. We need to take precaution and continue to wear the mask and and keep healthy as best as we can. So that's where we are right now in South Africa.
Thank you, Simfwe. I have some very good friends, colleagues in Joburg, and I was actually supposed to be in Johannesburg earlier this year. We were supposed to start shooting actually a new movie, but like everything, that didn't happen. So we can be hopeful and optimistic about next year. So, you know, we will see what happens. I see. Let's see.
If I may add, sorry, Vince.
Yes.
So I am very hopeful that I will be seeing most of you next year. I am the Congress Director as well for the World Congress, which is taking place, the JCI World Congress that's taking place next year in Johannesburg, South Africa. So I'm holding thumbs that the vaccine or a miracle happens before November next year so that we get to see you in South Africa.
Okay, thank you so much. That's great. It's 2:53. Mahmoud, how are we doing?
Hello, everyone. I hope you are enjoying this wonderful informative session. I am very good. I'm actually alive evidence about coronavirus. I'm now a COVID-19 patient, but I am in the final days of the disease. These days, I just have waves of dizziness, and I am in my room since 2 weeks, waiting to get back my health, and trying not to be close from my parents because they are elderly, and all the time you feel fear about them more than your fear from the disease. So I hope just not to convey the disease for them. I'm trying doing my best inside the home.
Yeah, we all need to take it, and you know, we as they use the term COVID fatigue, which we just kind of tired of it after so many months, and we just want to spend time with our family and our relatives and go about our business. But obviously we still have to be proactive and just be careful being around too many people. You know, this year I have lost 2 relatives, one aunt from London, one uncle who lives in Toronto, and 3 very, very close colleagues, 2 martial arts teachers, and one, his Honorable Fode Mansour is an ambassador of Sierra Leone from the United Nations. So I've lost 2 family members and 3 friends. So it's very, very serious, and we all must take great care and continued health for ourselves and for our families. And I know the holidays are coming up. America just had the biggest holiday of the year, Thanksgiving, yet 5 million Americans flew all over the country, 50 million traveled by bus, train, and car. So come the end of the year, we are going to have a whole new wave that is much worse than it is right now. And right now it's pretty bad. So we have Christmas coming up. So please, be careful, take care of yourselves, and just, limit the amount of people you're around. I know that's a tough thing. We want to be around our family and our relatives, especially at this time of the year, and with the new year coming up as well. So just all be careful, and God willing, 2021 will be better. And I hope, my plan is to be in many countries with all of you. So let's hope and pray for that, inshallah. And I think that brings us to the end of this session today. And let us stay in touch. We can contact each other through, I'm sure many of you are on Facebook, as I am, or Instagram, or whatever social media you use. So let's stay in touch. Yes, Mahmoud.
Shall I state something, please, before you end the session?
Yes, please. Please, yes. Go ahead, Hassan. Go ahead.
Hello.
Yes. Signal problem, I'm sure.
Hello.
We are here, listening to
We
you.
are hearing you.
Hassan, go ahead. Well, he's not, there must be a signal issue. But yes, let's all stay connected. And I'll let Mahmoud cut us out. Go ahead, Mahmoud.
I'm really sorry. I had an internet problem.
Okay.
Is it okay now?
Yeah,
Everyone is hearing me now?
Yes, go on.
Yes.
Go ahead.
So, about coronavirus. I mean, first, let me present myself. Thank you so much. Let me present myself. I am Hassan Minhaj. You can call me Hassan as a nickname or a jab. All I want to say is that I'm really confident that all of us had experienced COVID-19 at least once before, and they're advising myself when they talked about in the media, when they talked about the symptoms. Okay?
Yeah.
When they talked, I mean, I still remember that I had them before. I had them before. Let me highlight a very important point, which about the flood of media. I mean, there is something great war is administrated by the media. Okay?
Okay.
So, I'm confident that all of us had experienced COVID-19 before, but the fear we had now is just of media, is only because of media. Okay? Regarding the economy, actually, I want to highlight a very important point, another important point, which is that for the internet business had flourished in an incredible way, in an unbelievable way due to coronavirus, since the whole dependence got on the internet, since people could not go out their homes. Sense of working in network marketing on the internet when we were in the lockdown. Actually, I think that we are going to have another lockdown or another quarantine because the number of cases is increasing incredibly here in Syria, and especially in my city. Okay, I think we are going to another quarantine. So I can give it just, I mean, just a piece of advice to all my friends all around the world. Just in case, try to find a business on the internet. I mean, just in case if you are going to have another quarantine or a level everywhere.
Thank you, Hassan. Thank you. Well, again, I will say goodbye to everybody here, and
You as well.
Thank you. God bless.
If we could take final screenshot for smiley screenshot.
Goodbye. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for giving me the chance to participate.
You're welcome. You're welcome. God bless. I guess who's ever going to take the photo, go ahead and take the photo. Sabina, you take the photo.
Yeah, open your camera, please, to take the photo. If you could, if it's
Open your
possible.
camera, people. We're going to take a group shot.
Yeah, I guess Mahmoud is on it. I don't know actually how to do it.
Okay. Mahmoud's on it. He's going to do it. Everyone smile.
Okay, my camera, yes.
Can't see any teeth.
Hello.
Okay. 3,
Go.
2, 1.
Yes.
Smile. Cheese. Okay. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
I have taken it.
Great. Everybody, thanks so much. Stay safe out there.
Yes.
And talk again soon.
Thank you, Mr. Vincent.
Yes. So I guess Syria, Iraq, New York, Canada. I got it right this time.
Finally.
And all the other places: Tartus, Damascus, Georgia, Atlanta,
South Africa.
Lisbon, Frankfurt.
Great.
Oh, Jayberg, of course. Can't forget that. Thank you. Take care, guys. Everybody.
I mean, the issue we talked about was really vital and crucial.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. God bless.
See you next
time. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Yeah.